the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame inductions is Miss Carina Moreno. Welcome, Carina. How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
So, a big weekend for you. What do you think about all of this?
Yes, it's a great weekend. It's an honor to be inducted into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame.
Tell us a little bit about your career. Where you're from, how you got started, because before you say anything, maybe I could be right, I could be wrong, but a lot of girls started out because they had a lot of brothers that they had to fight with and put up with a lot of their nonsense, so they had to toughen up, and they got into boxing that way, or they learned to protect themselves because of their brothers. Was that part of your story?
No, it was not. My story was, I grew up watching a lot of boxing with my family. We used to watch Julio Cesar Chavez when he used to box, and I just grew up in the environment of boxing, and I always loved boxing. I always said I wanted to become a boxer, so I decided I wanted to do boxing, and one day I entered a fitness gym, and they had kickboxing, and I was like, well, that's almost like boxing. So I joined the kickboxing. I competed in kickboxing. I was a kickboxer for a year. Then I did the switch over to boxing, and but ever since I was a little girl, I had always wanted to become a boxer.
Now, are you from Mexico originally, or where are you from?
No, I was born and raised in Watsonville, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay,
but you mentioned Julio Cesar Chavez, and there were so many great Mexican fighters that during that era when he fought, all these fighters were great in those divisions, and they really made a lot of fans out of everybody who were just occasional fans, and so he was one that inspired you, correct?
Yes. He was one that I was so inspired by him, just his style that he had and how aggressive he was, and I was just a big fan of his, and I always was like, I would love to be like him one day.
Well, you've made it into Hall of Fame, just like he did. Let me ask you, through the years of your boxing and afterwards, what do you think that you really learned out of the boxing business, so to speak, and has that carried on into your life now?
Boxing has taught me a lot of discipline, and just to be focused, and always if you have a dream to follow it. And like I said, when I first started boxing, my goal was to go to the Olympics. Unfortunately, they didn't have Olympics when I was an amateur, and so when I decided to turn pro, my goal was to become a world champion, and I became a world champion, a 5-time world champion in 3-weight divisions. So boxing has taught me to, if you have a goal, set your goal, and you can accomplish it, and by being dedicated and focused, and that's what boxing has taught me.
Have you carried that on to other people, told them that this is what you do now, that you think that way, that whatever you want to do, you can gain that because of hard work and dedication and the motivation?
Yeah, definitely. Every time, sometimes when I run into somebody and they ask me, they want to do this, they want to do that, I always say, whatever you put if you set your mind and your goal to a certain thing that you want to do, it could be accomplished. It's just it's just gonna take some work. It's gonna take some dedication and discipline, and that's the other thing that boxing has taught me is discipline.
Well, all that hard work, dedication, discipline has gotten you here this weekend as a 2019 inductee into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, and that's got to be great news.
Yes, it's definitely great news. When I got the news that I was going to be inducted, I was shocked. I mean, I was like, it took a little while to soak in, and it was, like I said, it's quite an honor to be inducted into the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame as well, because actually there's a couple of the inductees that are being inducted. I've known them for a while back. We actually go way back. Missy Florentino, me and her were in the USA Women's Boxing team. Oh, wow. So that's that goes way back, as well as Marta Salazar and Blanca Gutierrez. When I started before I did boxing, I used to be a kickboxer, and I was a kickboxer. I actually fought Blanca Gutierrez. So yeah.
Well, we mentioned with her and some of the other girls that you gain these friendships throughout the years, and whether you fought them at one time, or you just worked out with them, or whatever? There's always it's like a big family in boxing.
Yes, it is. There's always a connection. Like you say, it's either you either train with them or you spar with them in the future or you fought them. So and just to have them all together in such a great event, it's quite an honor.
Well, we want to congratulate you again. You look very happy, very excited. Congratulations, and we thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Enjoy the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.